You're going to have a mission statement as your center. You're going to have something that you're going to abide to. So make your content that reflects your mission statement. All your content, when you're creating your content, have your mission statement in mind. And this creates trust and curiosity because your audience, most of the time, is going to be what? Your parents, your young parents, your grandparents, your things like that. So you want to create that trust with everything that you post. So as long as your content reflects your mission statement and what your organization abides by, you'll be able to create that relationship.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to School After Hours podcast, where we talk about all things related to out of school time programming and education. I am your host, Jay Lee. And today we're going to talk about using social media to build an online presence for your after school program. To help us with this topic, we have Markia Baker and Navy Johnson from NM Legacy Marketing. They're going to be sharing some marketing strategies as well as some do's and don'ts for social media. So, we can get the gist of everything and make sure that we're doing this correctly. All right. But before we go into our main interview, let's go ahead and jump into our community corner. Community Corner is a segment of the show that allows guests or myself to share tips, advice, or information on a specific topic with young people, families, or community members. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our Community Corner conversation. All right, everyone. This is our Community Corner section. We have Navy and Markia here for us, and they're just going to give us some tips about what could communities do to help with their social media marketing. So, Navy and Markia, my question for you all for Community Corner is this. What are your top 3 tips? What are your top 3 tips for after-school programs that are new to social media and try to build their brand?
All right. So when you're new to social media, it can seem really scary because you're like, how am I going to get all these people, to like me and to follow us and, et cetera, et cetera. But don't think too much into it. Social media is a growth thing. You're going to grow over time. But as long as you're consistent, you're going to be just fine. So that kind of goes to what my next thing is. You're going to have a mission statement as your center. You're going to have something that you're going to abide to. So make your content that reflects your mission statement. All your content, when you're creating your content, have your mission statement in mind. And this creates trust and curiosity because your audience, most of the time, is going to be what? Your parents, your young parents, your grandparents, your things like that. So you want to create that trust with everything that you post. So as long as your content reflects your mission statement and what your organization abides by, you'll be able to create that relationship. And also, this is an after school program, so make sure that you're getting permission from the parents to have their children online and things like that. You don't want to anger anybody. You don't want any legal trouble. You don't want to lose a student because the parent is upset or anything like that. So at registration or at admission, however you want to do it, make sure there's some type of document signed that says, hey, we're going to use your children's pictures on our socials, on our print media, what have you. That way there's no surprises. And lastly, when you're a new page, it's recommended to post every day. You want to post every day to build that consistency, to build that momentum. And you want to not just, of course, post just regular still pictures, but have fun. Get footage, make some reels. Because it's an after school program, there should be a lot of activities that you should be able to get content on. So you can make carousels, any type of reels or field trips or any of the programs, staff helping with homework, whatever you want to put up there. But have fun with it. Don't think about it too much, but just make sure that you're consistent and reflecting your mission at the same time.
Good stuff. Boy, especially about that consent part. Because, oh boy, you put somebody's child on social media, it's a whole problem without the permission. Oh, trust, I've been through it and it is not a good thing. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into our interview question. All right, everybody, we have arrived at our interview portion of the show. So, like I said, we have Navy and Markia here with us, and we're going to be talking about social media and how you can use it for branding your organization, but also branding yourself as a resource for anyone in the community that may need it. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive into a small introduction of Navy and Markia so we could know a little bit about them, but also that their business as well. So, ladies, good to have you here today.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
And we know social media is a big thing, especially it's becoming more popular for marketing and after school programs. But me being a millennial and closer to the end of being a millennial, that far in, social media wasn't a really big thing when I was growing up. So learning the ins and outs, how to use it, all those things could be a little bit intimidating sometimes, if I'm allowed to be honest. So I'm happy that we are having this conversation. So just to get us started, go ahead and tell us, a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll go ahead and go a little bit deeper in the conversation.
Okay, well, to start, again, I'm Navy. I'm one half of NM Legacy, and we've been in business together since February 2022. We're going on 2 years in. And I've been in the digital marketing space and social media space for quite a while. But I guess it will be, what, 6 years, going on 6 years now, since 2018. And it's been a wonderful blessing. Of course, like you said, Janice, everything changes. Social media changes constantly, so it's a swinging pendulum, but it's all about growth and, figuring out what works and figuring out your audience and things like that. And because of my storytelling background, my writing background, and a bit of journalism background, it all kind of just tied together. Making content is kind of like chasing a story. And then you also have to speak to who you want to speak to. So you have to customize your content to go toward the right audience and things like that. So it's a nice space, good space to be in.
Nice. Marky.
Yes. So, again, I'm Markia Baker, the other half of NM Legacy Marketing. Like I said, having the degree in, the education space of journalism stuff, but getting into the workforce and developing that interest in the marketing side definitely started like right after graduation. So my interest began probably 07, 08. But I started really taking it seriously when I'm telling you, like the pandemic just really put us all in a space where it was like, okay, this is the time to either jump or not. And so I really started to really kind of like try to get out of that imposter syndrome piece in 2020. And thanks to my boo over here, she like really, it was like, look, you can do this. And I really started to take it very seriously at that point.
Nice.
And as Navy stated, we use social media so much. And I think that's why for me, like it became even more interesting because I was always sharing what I was doing anyways and wanting to basically show people how I'm doing it, how I'm finding different things and putting it in a way that they would take it and understand because everyone doesn't take in information the same, but we're all using social media. And so the wonderful part about what we do and about what we have an opportunity to help other people do is put your message out in a way that your followers and your community will receive it. And so being able to do that, being able to be really creative and being able to show people what I know is just like the best part about what we do. That's like my favorite part of doing it. And being able to show people it's not intimidating. Don't be afraid. We got you. We're going to tell you. And once you make it simple for them, they're like, oh, that's it. I'm like, yeah. So, it can be a little intimidating, but we always here to try to lighten that load and make it less scary.
All right. I appreciate it. I definitely do. Because like I said before, like, I don't know. As you go along, you figure it out and you work it out for yourself. So that brings me to my first question for you. So when after school programs are choosing a social media platform to build their brand, right? What should they take into consideration before using a platform?
Well, I think first thing is you have to know that you don't need every platform. You got your big four, you got your Facebook, Instagram, your X, and I guess it would be TikTok now. I guess that's a part of the big four. I was going to say LinkedIn, but but things are changing, like we said. But you don't need every platform because every platform might not be made for your audience. For after school programs in particular, you might want to hang out on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. Facebook because, that's where your parents will be. That's where grandparents will be, and things like that. Then you have your Instagram where your millennial parents will be. And then even TikTok, where your millennial parents will be. And so you just have to kind of know, what's the best platform or the strongest platform to promote your after school program. And because, it's still talking to parents, that's your audience, but you still want to cater to a more I don't want to say a more childlike platform, but you don't want to go on like a professional platform with it. You can, but to better promote and talk to the audience that you want to speak to. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok may be the strongest because of the type of content that you're going to post. You're going to post a lot of, after school programs. You're going to post a lot of things with the children. You're going to post, staff helping with homework. You're going to post the kids playing together. You're going to post that type of content and those type of visuals. And they tend to go across better on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and things like that. So just know you don't have to use every single platform. And even if you don't want to get on TikTok right now, Facebook and Instagram will be just fine. And because you can connect those two, and as we mentioned before, you can build a content calendar on your Meta Business Suite on Facebook and connect your Instagram to your Facebook page and schedule that one out. So that way you kill two birds with one stone on two very strong still platforms. So just know you don't have to do it all. And you can focus on, just two good, strong platforms and just make sure your content is appealing.
I know that's right. So before we go deeper into this conversation, let's go ahead and take a quick break. Everybody go ahead, get your snacks, get your treats. Go ahead and take a moment to yourselves, take in all this good information and come right back because we are not done. We have so much more information to share with y'all. All right. See you in a minute. Are you a program director or thinking of starting a program? Maybe you need new curriculum that focuses on character development or technical skills. Maybe you need help establishing effective program logistics to have an impactful program culture. Or overall, you just need a program evaluation. Well, School After Hours Consulting is here to help. Contact us at schoolafterhours.com and our contact information is in the show notes. Hope to hear from you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to School After Hours podcast. We have Navy and Markia here with us from NM Legacy Marketing, and we are talking about social media strategies to help build your brand awareness, but also market yourselves at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and finish going into our interview. We had great advice in the first half about what platforms to use when you are trying to brand yourself. And the thing is, you don't got to use all of them. Narrow it down to one. Start there. So with that information, we're going to go ahead and get a little bit more. So my next question for you all is this. What is a social media strategy and how can it be used to promote after-school programming?
All right. So great question. So first, let's start with what the social media strategy is. So basically, it's simply a plan on how you're going to share your information, whether it's a product or a service or event or an activity. And it doesn't have to be formally like on a breakdown of a calendar unless you want to, especially when you're trying to organize your thoughts. But just in your head saying, all right, I'm going to post this on this day. That's a social media strategy. You have one. It's just you're maybe not calling it that. You're just saying, this is what my plan, this is what I want to do. That's a social media strategy. And when you're using it in the marketing space, it's just like any other marketing plan. Just like if you were to market and say, I'm going to drop 4 commercials on such and such date. I'm going to put a billboard on this street because all these cars going to go on this part of the highway, right? It's the same thing in the social media space, which requires research, right? And or bringing on people that have done the research and can say, hey, your audience is on social media in 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We may want to drop this event this day, or this day is not as busy. So we might want to post this in the morning so everybody has enough time to look at the feed. So it's simply having that strategy and saying, all right, this is how I want to get the information out to get the most interactions and the most reach. And that could be for a personal brand. Like you said, it could be for a business. It could be for an event. Some people just simply do it for parties. What does everybody do? They start dropping flyers, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday, because they know these are the times we're going to be looking at it and the weekend is coming up and I want them to buy tickets in advance, that kind of thing. So that's simply a social media strategy. Now, the way that after school programs can use it to their benefit is really giving a deeper look into the program. So making sure the benefits of the program, they can share. That's an opportunity for parents, people hearing it straight from the parents' mouth. Hey, this has been my experience. My son's been going to this program for X amount of years. And of course, getting consent, asking the parents, hey, do you mind, reviews go a long way. And of course, whether it's text, whether they just write an email, you can throw that and make it a graphic, or whether it's literally stopping a parent at an event saying, hey, do you mind saying a couple sentences on? So that's an easy way to get the word about how impactful your business or your program is being without you having to do a whole lot of of thought because it's coming straight from your attendees.
Mhm.
It can be used to show the different activities. Navy kind of talked about it because people want to know, okay, if my child go there, what are they going to be doing? And a lot of times, right, our attention spans are so short. I'm a mom. We're moms. We don't want, a lot of times we don't want to read the list of it anymore, right? We want to see it. You guys, and it used to be what they used to do in brochures, show pictures of kids running around throwing balls. You can translate that over into socials. What are the kids going to be doing? What are they going to be eating? You know what I mean? Especially if it's the summertime. Okay, my kids going to be there all day. What kind of food are they eating? Things like that. So really showing what exactly the kids are going to be doing or the youth are going to be doing. And then we love backstories from leaders. It doesn't have to be the CEO because, a lot of people, sometimes they don't want to really be in a camera, but it could be someone that represents the org doing a nice, just saying, this is how we got started. Our passion is children, yada, 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 yada. You know what I mean? And we're talking short clips because remember we talked about our attention spans are short, but these are easy ways to share about the organization or the after school program, but and be impactful without it being a whole lot of, oh my God, what are we going to do? That takes the pressure off. But that's some ways that you can really be impactful and really maximize the use of social media.
Right. In building that or in doing that, are there key components that they should focus on? Because I know that you mentioned post time, like when is your audience most active on social media? So look at your post time being one of those things. What are you actually going to be doing to be a little bit more visual? So are there specific components to their strategy that they should use or look at?
Absolutely. So key components, of course, like you just mentioned, utilizing the analytics to see when are your followers the most active. So if and me and Navy talk about this a lot, when people are off work, a lot of times that 5 afternoon when they're getting off work is a good time to drop some announcements or things that they have going on. So posting times are important and the different types of content. And like Navy kind of talked about a little bit earlier too, right? Not everybody is going to watch a reel. Some people may want a picture. Some people like to swipe on a carousel, which is multiple pictures. So it's always important to have a variety. And even if you don't post every day, on those few days that you post, add a variety. So, because a lot of people may not respond to a bunch of still posts if that's, all you do, you may only reach one part of your market. And maybe feel free to chime in because on any other additions to that.
That's pretty much it. Just keep consistent, utilize the posting times. A lot of times on a schedule like Meta's or like Zoho, if you're using any type of scheduler, it'll tell you your most active engagement time, so you can follow that as your roadmap. But that's it, just keep your content aligned with your mission and make sure you always know your why with everything that you post. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that because that is something that I don't think we always take into consideration because we're so post, do. But if you're posting something that is important at 1:00 and your people don't look at it until about 4:30, is it really going to get seen?
That's
Yep.
That's it right there.
Are we really looking at it for real? You're wasting your time. So a lot of things that are taking place on social media, like selling has become another additional thing, especially on Instagram, products and merch and all those other things. So I wanted to ask you all for, especially the fundraising part of programming is, what are some ways programs can use social media to raise money for some of the things that they may be doing or want to do in the future?
Well, so socials is your message, your messenger, right? That's how you get the news out nowadays. That's the fastest way, to get information out there. So you definitely want to showcase it, just showcase what it is that you're doing. And you can start your GoFundMe or your Kickstarter and, place that link in your bio or place that link in your chat, however you want to do it. But what you want to keep in mind is you want to be transparent about what you need. Be transparent about the fundraiser, what it is that you're raising money for. Is it because you want to get this building? Are you, putting money into scholarship programs? You want to be transparent about what it is that you're fundraising for and show the progression. That's what you would put on social media as far as helping your parents to see what's really going on. And again, as we talked about before, building that trust. Once you build that trust and they see, okay, they're not going to just take my money and run. They're actually, hiring contractors to fix the roof on the building. They're actually getting these kids the backpacks and school supplies that they need. You want to show your progression of all your fundraising goals, no matter what it is. And you use social media to do that. If you are raising money for field trips or to implement a new program or anything like that, just to make that known on the social space and maybe do a countdown, make it fun. You say, hey, that kind of also creates a sense of urgency too. But you can make a countdown and say, hey, we need X amount of dollars by March 13th, and the countdown is on, and whoever gives us that $300 might win something or something. You can make it fun, make it engaging, make it so people feel like they have an incentive once you build that relationship with them, to donate money. And so that's pretty much how you can, use the social media space. And like I said, if you have a place where they can give money, like your Cash App, you might have a Cash App for your establishment. You might have a GoFundMe for specific things or a Kickstarter to launch a new program, anything like that. You want to also keep in mind who your audience is. They might not be able to give thousands of dollars on hand. You got a lot of moms and families, as your audience members. So they might can do like $10 here or there. So you just also have to be mindful of what you ask for as well. And that'll help them determine whether they can give or how much time they want to put in and whatever it is that you need. So that transparency is golden when it comes to raising money. And of course, don't be afraid to showcase the progression of the fundraiser and what it is.
Very true, very true. So talking about that, let's go ahead and talk about this family and community engagement portion, because that is part of it. You're fundraising, you're trying to touch the people and let them know what you need. But also, how can social media be used for family and community engagement outside of fundraising?
Yeah, so that really is a good way to transition out of that, because one of the bigger components that can be used to create that community and family engagement is just sharing updates and information. Those platforms can be used, like I said, for the updates, for the fundraising, especially, of course, not just when places are closed and stuff like that, but different events that are coming up. That's like the main place to do that. It could be notifications. It could be if something changes. It could be, hey, we need volunteers. How many times do they need volunteers and people do not post? I'm telling you, that's literally how I showed up at the farmer's market. Because people are like, oh, so did y'all know each other? No, I just saw them on Facebook and sent the DM. I mean, because a lot of these, right, sometimes these after school programs are nonprofits, right? And you're like, how in the world? Put that thing on Facebook or Instagram and say volunteers needed. Ask people to share, because that's the way to get these families and get the community involved. Social media is the resource now for people, that's looking for volunteer opportunities. They're not Googling anymore. They're going to Facebook and Instagram and they're putting in volunteer RVA. They're putting in volunteer Henrico County, volunteer Chesterfield, and they're looking for people like you. They're looking for daycares and summer camp and all that. They're not Googling it anymore. You know what I mean? Outside of asking friends, they may go to the social services website. They're looking on Instagram and Facebook. And that's how the families can stay in the know of what's going on. That's how you keep everyone engaged. And then that's where you can also encourage them to share. Share this post. People do it all the time. Do not be afraid of asking your followers to share your post. You know what I mean? Because even if you don't hit your target audience, every person that engages, you're automatically connected with their audience the moment they share your stuff, and you're exposed to 500-600 more people that never knew you existed, all because you told them to share your post.
Nice.
So that's the first one. The second one is, and it's kind of the same thing, facilitating communication and collaboration. So that goes along with that. We need you, volunteers or job openings. Hey, we're looking for more counselors. We're looking for interns. That's a perfect time where people are asking for interns, right? Especially in the summer or in the after school, looking for anyone that's looking for volunteer credits, that's trying to get into organizations. I'm a part of sorority. All the reason why I know about volunteer opportunities back in the day, right? We all knew somebody, but I also was a volunteer holic. These days, it's a little different. Somebody that needs volunteer credit and they just happen to see it on their feed. Oh, let me connect them with so-and-so and so, or let me send them this post. And it doesn't have to be a still post. Sometimes it's literally showing a video of a volunteer. Want to volunteer with us? Look at what they're doing. Because what do people say, right? When I volunteer, what am we doing? They don't want to do the bait and switch, but they're seeing I want to do that with kids. I can give people some food. I can run around and play baseball or basketball with them. I can do that. That's the perfect way to recruit, is literally showing people what they're going to be doing. So those are some ways to really connect and collaborate on that. And then just showing achievements. My son attended a Baptist school program. He went there for preschool also, but they showed the kids graduating, doing a kindergarten graduation, any type of awards, or if it's a basketball program, oh, our team won, blah, 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 different type of tournaments and stuff like that. Parents like to see their children. The children like to see themselves. And it also is like, oh, well, I want my child to participate. I'm looking for another basketball tournament. You know what I mean? Or they may be a part of that program and didn't know that they had basketball tournaments or different type of competitions. That really lets the community know that we rally around these children, and that there's other ways for them to achieve different things. Because if they don't want to go to like a bigger one, and they think those bigger organizations are the only ones that they can get awards and stuff at. So these are some ways to support the community. Community can support the children. It gives great engagement, because what are they saying? Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
All that engagement just boosts up the post, where it starts to show up on other people's algorithms. So, or on people's pages rather. So those are some ways that they can use that to maximize their exposure and really utilize social media for their benefit.
I know that's right. Well, for all the wonderful things that you gave us today, thank you so much. But we are not done yet, y'all. We have to go ahead and jump into our Professionals Lounge. Professionals Lounge is a segment of the show that allows guests to share advice with other practitioners in the OST and youth development field about how they can begin growing their gifts and talents, but also develop themselves as professionals in the field. Here's our Professionals Lounge conversation. Everyone, welcome to the end of our show. I know we've had such a great time. We're getting so much information, but we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So for Professionals Lounge, here's my question for Navy and Markia. My question is, what are some things that should not be done on social media? There is this thing called etiquette, which I feel like we completely miss sometimes. So what are some of the do's and don'ts that we need to go ahead and nip in the bud? Like, we need to put that out there. Be like, so you should not be doing this. It's okay if you do this, because I feel like etiquette is important. We're missing it sometimes.
Oh, we completely understand that. We actually did a whole little segment on social media etiquette on our page at NM Legacy on Instagram. Shameless plug. So go ahead and follow us. But we have a social media etiquette series, and we were very excited about this question because we were like, we talk about this. So first rule, don't flood the feed. Do not flood the feed. Don't overpower your friends' feeds with all of these posts, because it frustrates people and then they end up unfollowing or muting you or something like that. And you don't want them to hide your good stuff, So instead of flooding a feed or anything like that, build a carousel. Like Markia mentioned before, a carousel is a series of multiple posts. It's a very good way to get engagement because people are going to swipe through. And they might save the post that they like within the bunch or anything like that. Or, they'll save it for later to come back to it. But carousels are really cool because it allows you to post all those pictures at one time. And you can create a story out of it, create a theme out of it. And things like that. Even put little arrows on it so they can know to keep swiping. Make it look cool, but it's a really easy way to get engagement and still use multiple pictures and images or just footage without having to, constantly post and flood the feed to where a lot of your stuff gets missed that way. And then we also said this before at the top of the hour, but we're going to say it again. Don't post children without consent of their parents. That's the most important thing for after school program, any type of child development programs. Just make sure you get that content slip signed. So that way, again, it's no problems or anything like that. And the last thing that you could do, or one of my last things that you could do is, might be kind of hard to do, but it can be done. Showcase your programs with visuals. Like I've said, children reading, staff helping with schoolwork, anything like that. You can show them better than you can tell them on these platforms. So try not to be too promotional, but lifelike. Because you want to create that action, that relatable pull. And to do that, you need the visuals. We're visual people with short attention span, so we just want to see it. And then, but do your best to explain it quickly in a short way in the caption to where it's not, a whole little novella down there. Keep it sweet, keep it simple. Kind of do it like a narrative type of content strategy and show and don't tell too much. So those are my 3 etiquette tips. Markia, do you got some?
Yes. So the first one I have is, especially for those, and this can go for after school programs or those that just have businesses. You want to make sure you're keeping a balance of your personal content and your business content separate. unless it aligns with the company's brand. So we have people that, right, you run your own after school program or what have you, but then we've definitely seen where, sometimes you slip in a personal that doesn't really have anything to do with the brand. and you're kind of running it like it's your personal page, but then you're trying to promote your business or after school program at the same time. You might, and it, you may seem like it's a lot, but it's really not. But you may want to separate that and have a personal page where you can post all your personal random quirky stuff, and then the other one just be your brand. But of course, if it aligns with that brand, so say you run the after school program and you have children of your own. If your children are participating in stuff with the program and you throw a picture, then that can maybe align with that brand because they're actually doing what the after school program does or what the program offers, versus just like randomly throwing a picture of your kids on there, but it doesn't align with the brand. So you want to kind of make sure you are keeping that separate, because your brand and your program is its own entity. So you don't want to cause any confusion. Again, like Navy said, you want to make sure your content is aligning with that mission, so that it doesn't throw off anyone that's following. And then there's like a random picture like, wait, I thought this was the school's Instagram, but it's really yours, and you're just promoting the after school program at the same time. You might want to look into, especially if you're going to consistently post for that brand, you might want to, at that point, I'm going to have to set up a separate Instagram for it, or socials. And the way Instagram and Facebook is set up, you can easily toggle between the two. And that way you're posting as your business, and then you can switch over and post back as yourself. We do it all the time. So that's the first one that I had. The second one is making sure you're engaging with your followers. With people that follow you, when they're talking in the comments, you please respond back. Say something back, even if it's, oh, these are congratulations, kids. You can say, oh, thank you for all your kind words, or what have you. A lot of people ask questions in those comments. And then not only that, actually the people that your brand follows engage with their posts. Because that keeps the engagement going both ways. That also keeps your pulse on the after school program streets, right? Because we tell everybody, whatever brand you a number of people that you follow should be people that's in your niche. So you should be following other programs or other, or schools, or, anybody that's in your market. They should be some of the people that you're seeing on your feed. And then you should be engaging with them as well. Like some of their posts. Engage with some of their, especially if it's interesting, share some of their stuff. It doesn't take away from your brand. Instagram, socials is a great space where it benefits you to support other people, if that makes sense. Because sometimes that's the one reason why you may wonder, like, okay, why isn't my stuff doing well? Well, who's engaging with your stuff? Because the one part is not just posting, it's getting the engagement. And sometimes it boils down to, who are you engaging with? Right. So don't lose that piece of, I need to be seeing what's, number one, keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on in these after school program streets. I'm gonna say that. In our case, we keep a pulse on what's going on in the social media streets, but whatever your brand is, keep a pulse on, like you're a podcaster. I'm sure you follow other you keeping a pulse on what the podcast streets, you know what I'm saying? So because that's how you keep an idea of what's going on, but also engage, because that you'd be surprised who engages with you, all because you like to engage their stuff. That stuff can really, really matter, especially starting out. And then lastly, okay, so people should know this, but we still see this, which is putting links in the captions on Instagram. Instagram does not allow a hyperlink in the captions. So when you all are making Instagram posts, one way to get around this is, of course, in the caption saying, please click the link in our bio, and or make a video or a reel of how to get to the link to register your children. Because hyperlinks work on Facebook, but it does not translate over. Unfortunately, Instagram does not have this feature, but there's still a lot of people that, and sometimes you don't know, right? Because you're just posting. You're just copying and pasting what you put on Instagram. Hyperlinks do not work in the captions, even if you put it in as a comment. Make a simple video saying, hey, this is how you find us. We literally made a video the other day. It took, it wasn't very long, how to go to our link in our bio and click the Calendly to book an appointment with us. It's great content, but it also shows that you are still showing people how to get to it, because the hyperlinks do not work. So that's the only other one I have.
I know that's right. Well, ladies, thank you for being on the show. If anyone wants to get in touch with you to get more tips, get some consulting on how to update or upgrade their social media, how should they get in touch with
So you can go to www.nmlegacy.com and you can scroll all the way down and hit work with us at the bottom. You can schedule a free consultation with us. And you can also follow us on our Instagram at NMLegacy. And Legacy is with an I, you guys. LEGACI marketing. And so you follow us there. You can get social media tips. We do that every Tuesday. We put out resources and things like that every Wednesday, Thursday. There's a lot of good stuff on our socials that you can use. And of course, you can book us for a consultation at our website.
Awesome. So with that being said, y'all, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you have an amazing day. And until next time, y'all, goodbye. Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of our show. If you liked what you heard and you enjoyed our conversation, make sure that you're following us on YouTube, but also hit that like button so we know what you are enjoying. You can also find us on other podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts if you want to listen to our audio version as well. To get more behind the scenes stuff, make sure that you're following us on our social media accounts, Instagram and Facebook at School After Hours. Well, that's all I have for today. In the words of Mr. Arthur Ashe, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Until next time, y'all. Bye-bye.